Hello everybody, my name is Riley and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to here, hello, I'm a first year sixth form student and I'm studying English, Literature, Law and Sociology, and welcome to this week's video. So today I want to share with you all some advice for sixth form, because honestly sixth form is very tough, and you know, whether you're a student who's finished their GCSEs and are going into sixth form in September, if you are, massive well done for making your way through your GCSEs, and I hope that the results show for the effort that I know that you have all been putting in. Or you are like me, a year 12 student going into year 13 looking to kind of make some new habits or just kind of change things up a little bit. So I've generated a list of my top kind of 5 advice, and I'm going to try and walk you guys through it today and kind of like explain sort of how you can have a really good work-life balance in sixth form. I have really been enjoying my time at sixth form. It has been a very challenging time, don't get me wrong, but I have really enjoyed getting to sort of take advantage of all the different opportunities that my school has got to offer. I've really been enjoying the kind of academic intensity, and it's been very stressful at times, and I've definitely missed a few assignments, and I've definitely not been the best student at all times. But you know, all of the other things that comes with that, you know, making friends, getting a good score on a test or a good score on a practice question that you've done, it all makes it worth it. And honestly, sixth form is great, and you know, you've got to take advantage of everything, and it will be stressful and it will be hard. It is definitely a big step up from GCSEs. Sometimes I've had people who've told me that they found that the step up was quite big, so you literally went from GCSEs straight to A-levels and it was like bam. For me, it kind of gradually sort of came in on later on through the year, and honestly motivation does lack towards the end of the year. So you know, if you are in year 12 and you are kind of struggling with your motivation, don't worry, we are all in the same boat. So I think we can go ahead and talk about the advice now. So my first piece of advice is to stay on top of it. Now I know that this sounds very broad and it is definitely easier said than done, but if a teacher sets you an assignment, just get it done as soon as you can. Find a time in your calendar and just slot it in there and just get it done. Try not to kind of make the whole process complicated, just kind of get the work done and keep it really simple. The more you kind of fall behind, the harder it's going to be to catch up. So honestly, just try and stay on top of it. And if you utilize different kind of slots of productivity, so maybe you get home from school and you have a couple hours before, you know, you're going to eat dinner, use those couple of hours to be productive. As well as this, always make sure that you are keeping your folders organized as you go, making sure that you put all of your notes into there, that everything is separated into maybe the different chapters or the different topics, rather than just having a big bundle of sheets, because that's just not going to be useful to revise from as well. But I do also highly encourage you guys to generate revision material. So whether you're a flashcard user, or you really like mind maps, or you have any sort of other study methods, make sure you're making these materials as you go, because honestly future you will absolutely love you for it. And honestly, I wish that I had kept up with making my revision material as I went, because I have got quite a bit that I need to catch up on now. So there are definitely strategies to go about this, you know, making sure that you kind of stay on top of it. Even if you don't want to do it, just do it. There are times when you need to pay attention to your mood, and then there are also times where you're like, this is literally going to take 2 minutes, I just got to knuckle down and get it done. And it doesn't take any more than 2 minutes to just, you know, at the end of the week, take the notes out of your day folder and put them into your main folders at home, and then you'll have everything that you need later on. So my second piece of advice is to keep up with your hobbies. When you get to sixth form, you are probably going to be quite quickly swamped with work. You're going to have, at least at my sixth form, we have pre-work, we have post-work, and then we've also got obviously the actual lesson content. And it all begins to pile up. Like my homework is looking really busy at times, and you know, it's just a constant reminder of just the things that I need to get done. So you need to make sure that in any of the spare time that you have, that you are doing a constructive hobby. And no, I do not class scrolling through TikTok as a hobby. Honestly, that is more damaging than anything. Obviously, there are times when, you know, all you want to do is just scroll through TikTok, and I think that that's fine in moderation. You know, sometimes a good doom scroll is all that your brain can take, but you need to make sure you have other sort of constructive hobbies, maybe somewhere you're outside, somewhere you're actually like physically using your brain, and things like that. As a general rule of thumb, I would recommend having some kind of active hobby. So for me personally, I do really enjoy doing kind of home workout. Don't tend to really do it that much, but I do also really enjoy playing tennis, and I've gone on a run once. You just need to have something that's going to keep you active, and something that's going to, you know, get you out of a chair, because you're mostly going to be stuck on a chair when you are being productive. I'd also recommend having something that is kind of switches your brain off. So personally for me, I really like reading. I feel like Sheldon when he introduces his fun with flags of web series and something like that. So I'm a big reader, and reading is definitely something that I always make time for every day. Sometimes I'm reading while I'm eating my breakfast. Sometimes I am reading for half an hour before I go to sleep, and reading is just a really great way to kind of have a bit of an escape sometimes. And honestly, when you find the right book and you're absolutely gobsmacked, I absolutely really enjoy that. Gaming, that is also a really good brain off hobby for me. I am definitely trying to get back into sort of gaming because that's definitely been something that I've really enjoyed in the past, and as sort of sixth form has gone on and my energy's kind of like dipped, I've tended to kind of gravitate more towards my phone. But honestly, I find that spending an hour playing a video game compared to an hour scrolling through TikTok makes me feel so much better. And that leads me on to another hobby that I highly suggest you have, and that is something that is creative. So for me, that is video making. My YouTube channel is definitely a sort of hobby, and it's something that I do want to put a lot more time into because it's something that I really enjoy. And you know, editing is also like, it's very creative because you have to kind of think about the video that you're going to create and you have to actually create it. Can't you hear that boom 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 boom? That's super nice. Stay hydrated, people. Oh, this is your sign. Sit up straight. Go hydrate. So my third tip is to work as much as you can at school. Now, I know this sounds kind of strange, and I do honestly get sometimes you want to talk to your friends and you want to kind of spend your time at school sort of more socially, but honestly, as a sixth former, you have a certain number of free periods. For my school, I think we have 10 free periods in a week, and you know, that is 10 hours of work that you can do at school, which honestly is amazing. And if you take advantage of that, then that means that when you get home, you have more time to do your hobbies. Maybe you have more time to actually go out with your friends and actually talk to them properly instead of having to do it kind of hushed up in a library. So take advantage of your free periods and be as productive as you can. I do have another video on my channel which contains 10 kind of productivity tips, and so I'd highly suggest watching that for some advice on how to kind of be productive in your free periods, or even if you have to do work at home. I will leave a link to that video in the description, and it will either popped up in an iCard already or is popping up on the screen right now. So I've heard this kind of thing thrown about at sixth form, and I've kind of tried it a little bit, kind of not at the same time. Basically, when you are working a job kind of post sixth form, post university, you tend to kind of be working a 9 to 5, and that means that when you're at work, you are working from this 9 to 5, and then when you finish work, you don't tend to really have to think about it, kind of. I'd suggest doing something like that at sixth form. My school, I don't actually know what time we're allowed to be in, but I've kind of done this as more of an 8 to 4, I've called it. So I'm in at 8 and I leave at 4, and this just means that I'm putting in work before school because my school first lesson starts at 8:50. So by getting to school at 8, I'm giving myself 50 minutes of work, and sometimes I don't even really do work there. I kind of just get myself set up the day, you know, make a plan for the day, see what needs to be done, reply to emails, do my flashcards. Giving myself that sort of time at the beginning of the day, it means that I'm able to be more productive when I am at school, and it gives me time to actually do work as well. And you know, that's another 15-minute slot for me to do work. So I'd highly suggest doing something like that. And then my school day finishes at 2:45, so I'd stay until about 4. That's giving me an hour and 15 minutes at school, and you don't have to stay for these long hours, but honestly, just even using your free periods productively, putting your headphones in, putting on some music, ignoring your friends saying, hey, I need to work, leave me alone for a minute, and it just means that when you get home, you have a lot less stress and you have a lot less stuff on your plate. You can do more of the things that you want to do, and you can kind of create associations of productivity with sixth form, and then, you know, home as being more of a relaxing place. It does actually work quite well. So my fourth tip is to take advantage of the extracurriculars that are offered by your school. Now, this doesn't even need to be anything that is in school. I know that I get a plethora of emails from my head of sixth form regularly, in a day, in a week. You know, I get all of these emails about these different extracurricular opportunities that are happening outside of the school. I've done volunteering at events where I've been scanning tickets. It is fantastic, and it really is great to kind of take advantage of that, and it can be put on personal statements. Generally, you tend to put things which are called supercurricular, which which are extracurriculars that link to your subject on your personal statement. And so if you start to build that up at the start of sixth form, then you will have that to work on when it gets to your personal statement time at the end of year 12. If you don't know what a personal statement is a 4,000 character document that is sent through to your university when you apply to university, and it tells the university why you want to study the subject and kind of what you've done to prepare for the subject. Making sure that you kind of have these build up as you go is really, really helpful. So my fifth and final tip is to just enjoy your time at sixth form. As I have said many times, sixth form is going to be very stressful. You're going to be put under a lot of pressure by your teachers, maybe internal pressure. If you have a good balance, then you can honestly make your time at sixth form worth it, because you're only at sixth form for 2 years, sometimes 3, it depends on if you end up retaking the year, but just make the most of it. You know, I've made so many great friends that I did not know before I started at sixth. I've done so many cool opportunities. I've made such good connections with like my teachers and things like that. And so just because it's stressful does not mean that it cannot be fun. So just sort of work when you need to, be social when you need to, take advantage of the different opportunities that you have to offer, and honestly you will enjoy your time at sixth form. You will be stressed sometimes and you will kind of want to cry a lot of the time. You will be sort of tearing your hair out at frustration or stress or sort of anxiety and things like that, and that's fine because it's all sort of building your experience kind of as a human. Okay, so that is everything for today's video. If you are also a sixth former just like me, or you've been through sixth form, comment down below one piece of advice for any sort of oncoming sixth formers. I'm definitely planning to make a handful more of sort of sixth form advice for oncoming sixth formers and different things like that. So I would highly suggest that you look out for that, and you can subscribe and turn on post notifications so you know when those videos are up. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video. So thanks again so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I shall see you all next time with a brand new video. Goodbye for now.